From retro to next gen, we've got it all. I'm George, a Gen X grown-up, and this is Bit by Bit. All right, here's a little bit of a financial bit from earlygame.com. They want to tell us what their evaluations are of the gaming subscription services that are out there right now, and they picked the 5 top ones in their opinion. And so I'm going to read this in my dubious voice as best I can, because I have certainly been burned in the whole subscription world when it comes to television. I'm sure a lot of you out there listening or watching this video right now have had the same experience. We start off with $5 a month, and then next thing you know, it's $20, and then it's $80, and then it's $100, and you don't own any of the content, which is another side of the equation that I tend to be kind of upset about anyway. Let's go through this list, because at least this list is truthful, it's well-researched, and it's mostly leaning into the facts rather than just fanciful opinions. So the first one up, Xbox Game Pass. They give you the prices, what you'll get for each one of them, and a brief description. PlayStation Plus, they give the same thing. Nintendo Switch Online. Apple Arcade, which was one that I really wasn't aware of. And then, of course, EA Play is the last one that they look at. And you can see the price ranges go anywhere from like $6 a month up to $20 a month on these different platforms. And you get different things at different levels, of course. So I leave it to you guys. Write down in the comments, are gaming subscription services really a good thing for the community? Or are they going to move us down the same path that the television production companies have and kind of just really start to take advantage of us not owning anything? Okay, here's a wearable bit from geekygadgets.com. Apparently, you can turn your Apple Watch into a Game Boy, ladies and gentlemen, in case you ever wanted to play Tetris on your wrist, I suppose. Now, this article looks to me like it was written by one of those AI generator kind of tools, but it looks like they fed this video into it to write it. It's a good article. It's decent. It's got a little bit of space. I'd say maybe 3 to 5 minute read, but watch the video instead. Truthfully, that's where you're going to get most of your information. I have the link to the article down in the description below, but you apparently need ArcEMU is the name of the program inside the Apple Store. It's like $2, the guy says, to buy, and then you can play all these games, Tetris, Pokemon, whatever you'd like from Nintendo, Super Nintendo, so on and so forth. But, I mean, I never personally thought of playing video games on my smartwatch, but, I mean, hell, if it's playable for $2, why not? All right, here's an interesting bit with some AI-generated artwork from maclovent.com. This is talking about a forgotten game changer called the Famicom disk system. Now, the AI-generated bit is right here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to point this out. It's not the FamKey computer. It's the family computer. You can see also there's like something here that looks like they're trying to spell YouTube. The disk is sticking out of the top when in reality it's a front load system. Anyway, the Famicom disk system is a real thing that was created. I don't know if the details in this article are all AI generated and therefore may or may not be correct, or if the author just wrote this long article, and it's incredibly long. You can see my little scroll bar down here over on the side. It's, woo, look at that. There's a lot in this thing. And I think it would probably take 20-30 minutes to get through all of it for me. It was just published on May 26th. But anyway, it's at least a good introduction to get you interested in a very unique and old, rare system. I definitely want to learn more about the Famicom disk system after just perusing this article. So I'm going to finish reading this one, and I'll have the link down in the description below so you can go check it out for yourself and see if you're interested in learning about a forgotten part of Nintendo's past. And here's a long retro gaming bit from our friends over at XDA.com discussing the rare history of tournament cartridges all the way from the Atari to the SNES. This article is really interesting. I wonder if a little bit of it is AI generated just because there's a couple of times where things are repeated and it seems like they didn't need to be, but the author claims to have discovered in a batch of games that he bought from store that was going out of business, a whole bunch of Atlantis cartridges, which sent him down the path of researching these tournament cartridges, because Atlantis was apparently the very first game that was done with a special tournament cartridge. And he goes into the details of the story. You can see images of some of these rare cartridges today. Now, the great thing is, you don't have to own one of these rare cartridges to be able to play this tournament version of Atlantis. You can play it in emulators, and he points that out in the article, which is great. We haven't lost any of these tournament cartridge ROMs to time, which is awesome. They are very rare, and they're hard to find, and if you see one up for sale, I'm sure it's not going to be cheap. Like in the Atlantis case, the only way to tell, apparently, on the box is that it had this rare little sticker, Atlantis 2, where they shipped these out to people who played in the original tournament, but maxed out the high score of Atlantis, and so they needed a tiebreaker. So they recoded the game to have faster scoring, bigger scoring, and then they sent out these new cartridges to those people who had submitted scores in the original tournament, and they got this new one. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. He talks about how he tested it. Apparently there was a myth that he may have debunked on the internet about that the Atlantis 2 cartridges weighed differently than the original Atlantis cartridges, sorry. But there's also NES tournament cartridges, which we know from the World Championships in 1990. He goes into the Campus Challenge in 91, the SNES tournament cartridges on campus. It's just a really well researched article. Like I said, parts of it may be AI, maybe not. The guy just may have repeated himself, but it's a really good article. It's going to take you a little while to get through, probably 10 or 15 minutes. I'll have the link down in the description, but it's well worth it if you want to learn all about the history of rare tournament cartridges. Okay, here's a quick little retro hardware bit from AndroidAuthority.com. Anbernic is showing off their new handheld device that's going to be coming out probably later this year, called the RG Slide. So this system looks pretty cool. This video on YouTube is really nice. They really did a good job of presenting the system. We only have a few details so far about the device. 120 hertz screen, 4.7 inches LTPS with a 4:3 ratio, so that's great for our retro games. In the video, they show off some PS2 and Wii emulation performance, as it says here, and they think there's also some GameCube stuff going on here with the Twilight Princess gameplay in the video. Nobody's really sure yet, and that's because Anbernic is being very tight-lipped about this. So far, we do not know pricing, release date, or the full specs of the device, but I found out through reading this article that the reason why we haven't gotten a lot of these sliding games in the current handheld market is because Sony has apparently been holding on to that patent since 2010, if you can believe that or not, but it expires right here in June of 2025, which is why Anbernic and other companies are probably jumping on this bandwagon right now. I expect to see a lot more of this style of device coming out this year and next, because these are going to be super popular, and I definitely think you should check this article out. That's going to do it for the news making headlines in the gaming world right now. I am George, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, and I'll keep on bringing you the news bit by bit.